Welcome back to Roses and Relics, or welcome if you're new. Today I'm inviting you into one of my favorite spaces in our home, the entryway. It's the first impression, so I've filled it with meaningful pieces that tell a story, almost all of which I've sourced from local estate sales. If you love vintage styling, French antiques, and a touch of romance, you're definitely in the right place. Let me show you how I've created a warm, welcoming space full of charm and history. We started with a blank canvas and slowly added pieces that felt like they belonged here. I knew I wanted this space to feel collected, not decorated. A space layered with textures, time-worn beauty, and a touch of old-world romance. Each piece has a story to tell. I started off with a soft pink vintage-style rug to anchor the space. Though not antique, I think it adds just the right amount of vintage charm, along with a touch of my favorite color. I always say a room isn't complete without a touch of pink. The first curated piece we added to this space is this absolutely incredible antique French Louis XVI gilded table that we found at a stunning estate sale in Fort Worth. We learned that the homeowners had been antique dealers for years and had taken numerous trips to Europe, France in particular, to source their antiques. To make things even more magical, we found a Parisian address stamped along the underside of the table as we were setting it up. With its hand-carved roses, rich patina, and intricate details, this table brings such a timeless elegance to our home and tells a beautiful story all on its own. Still, I often wonder about its past. Did it once sit in a Parisian salon? Maybe even a palace? I like to think a piece as beautiful as this has a rich history filled with intrigue. After finding this incredible table, we searched for months for the perfect mirror to pair with it. I originally added a mirror from another part of our home, but something just didn't quite feel right. Then one day we stumbled upon an absolutely amazing estate sale in Preston Hollow. There we found what I think just may be the perfect pairing that I could have ever found. This gorgeous Italian rococo style mirror that seamlessly fits this space like a glove. The romantic floral details and warm gilt finish are a beautiful complement to the table below, and together they create a bold, elegant focal point. Since the table and mirror are such high-impact pieces, I knew I wanted to keep the rest of the decor minimal, but still have an elegant and romantic feel. I decided to layer in a few antique Haviland Limoges porcelain plates on each side of the mirror for balance. I went with a simple vertical pattern to add just the right amount of interest. The hand-painted roses on the plates tie in perfectly with the blush pink tones in the rug, and the center pattern echoes the rug medallion below. These plates were sourced from an estate sale in Fort Worth, found in a box simply marked Mimi's China. I like to think Mimi would be happy knowing that her collection lives on and will be loved and treasured for years to come. I also featured these dishes in our previous afternoon tea video, so if you haven't already seen that, we would love for you to check it out. And I'll link it at the end of today's video. Now for the final touches to bring our entryway together. I knew I wanted a large centerpiece that sparkled in the reflection of the mirror, along with some beautiful roses for a touch of romance. As soon as I saw this gorgeous American Brilliant period cut glass vase at an estate sale in Colleyville, I knew I had the perfect place for it at home. I love its bold yet delicate presence and the contrast of the cut glass against the marble tabletop. I think it's just a match made in heaven. The final pieces that I added to tie this space all together are these gorgeous handmade European crystal candlesticks. We found these at one of our favorite antique malls in Arlington. The scallop details on the top add a touch of femininity and romance, along with the thoughtfully designed etched flowers placed carefully in the center of each candlestick. The delicate details are a perfect contrast to the heavy marble tabletop and the bold and beautiful vase. When styling an entryway, I always think in layers. I like to start with a beautiful rug to anchor the space, and then a dramatic focal point in this case our table and mirror, and then build around it with pieces that add warmth and height. I love including florals to bring a bit of nature indoors, and something unexpected like the antique plates flanking the mirror to add a touch of southern flair. Now when I walk through the door, I'm greeted by a space that feels like a warm embrace from another time. These aren't just beautiful objects, they're treasures, each with a story, adding soul to our home. Just off the entryway is a little hallway that I like to think of as an extension of the story we started telling. Another opportunity to add charm and vintage elegance right as you walk through the door. The focal point of this space is a vintage piece of art called The Sound of Music, featuring a graceful lady in a pale blue-gray dress. There's something so ethereal about her. She reminds me of a character from a romantic novel, soft, serene, and timeless. Above her, I framed the piece with 3 antique Haviland Limoges plates. Their delicate florals and gilded edges echo the plates used in our entryway, creating a gentle sense of continuity. Beneath the artwork, I've placed a vintage tea cart. That's one of my favorite styling pieces. It's perfect for layering in romantic treasures. On the bottom tier sits a vintage Italian candelabra adorned with gilded roses. It's beautifully dramatic, and I love the way it catches the light in the afternoon. And on the top tier, perhaps my favorite little vignette in the whole space, an antique Limoges chocolate pot with matching cups and saucers, each adorned with blush pink and cream roses. The palette plays so softly with the tones in the rug and florals nearby. It's a sweet, delicate touch that adds a little romance to this tucked away corner. I hope this inspires you to give new life to a forgotten heirloom, antique, or an estate sale find, and curate a home that brings you joy. If you enjoyed this antique entryway makeover, please give it a thumbs up, subscribe for more vintage decorating inspiration, and let me know your favorite piece in the comments.